Welcome, this is Irene Woods.
In this lesson, we will learn how to E-wrap cast on, use waste yarn as a stitch holder, work the Afghan seam with a latch tool, and make mock cables using drop stitches. I am using Big Twist Value yarn from Joann's. This is a thick knitting worsted weight with number 4 on the yarn band. Knit a sample with the stitch dial at 9 to be sure it knits correctly. Some of the colors do well at tension 8. Set the stitch dial to 9 and knit a sample. I have already cast it on with waste yarn and ravel cord. Fasten a clip on the main color and thread the carriage. Come up between needles 1 and 2. Go counterclockwise over needle 1, under 1 and 2, up between 2 and 3. Continue on like this across, winding the yarn counterclockwise around each needle, like writing a lowercase e in cursive. I'm using my left thumb to push the loops back against the bed to prevent dropping them and help keep the tension even. Thread the carriage. Knit 1 row. Check to be sure every needle knitted off cleanly. Hang a weight on each edge. I like to bring the needles all the way forward on the next row. It helps the carriage knit across more smoothly. Then continue to knit to the desired number of rows. Remove the main yarn from the carriage and clip it. Thread the carriage with waste yarn. And knit approximately 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. I'm knitting 8 rows this time. Remove the waste yarn and clip it. Remove the weights, all yarn clips, and the cast-on comb. Take the carriage across empty and the fabric will fall off. The waste yarn at the top acts as a stitch holder. This is a standard technique machine knitters use frequently. Remove the waste yarn at the beginning. Pick out the first and last stitches of ravel cord. Ravel cord can be pulled out from either edge. When knitting ravel cord from a ball or cone, as I am here, it really doesn't matter which end you pull. The waste yarn will now pull away. E-wrap makes a neat edge that has some stretch. This is another technique machine knitters use often, so do practice until you master it. I am now going to make 2 samples to use in the Afghan stitch seam. I have already cast it on with waste yarn and ravel cord. Thread the carriage with main color. Set the row counter to 0, 0, 0. Transfer the second stitch from the edge to the third needle. The second needle from the edge is now out of work. Do this on both sides. Bring the working needles all the way forward. Be sure the second needle stays in position A out of work on both sides. E-wrap cast on over the ravel cord. Knit 30 rows. Remove the main color from the carriage. And thread the carriage with waste yarn. Knit 8 rows. Remove all yarn clips, the weights, and the cast-on comb. Take the carriage across empty to release the fabric from the needles. This sample looks nearly identical to the first one. The edge stitches are a little larger, and that's exactly what we need for the next step. Remove the waste yarn and ravel cord from the bottom edge. If the ravel cord does not come free on the edge, it is wrapped around another stitch. That wrap is very small and it may be hiding. Use the needle tip to pull gently on the ravel cord you do see until you find the wrapped bit. Pick it free. Pull the ravel cord out. And peel away the waste yarn. The edge stitch is slightly larger and you should see a slight groove or valley between the first and second stitches. That's caused by the out-of-work needle. Make another piece exactly the same. We need 2 for the next step. Place the knitted pieces side by side, with the waist yarn on the right side if you are right-handed. Carefully ravel the edge stitch out, down through the waist yarn only. Then pull out the yarn tail and one more loop. I have already done this on the top piece, except it has two main color loops instead of a tail and one loop. Pass the latch tool under the yarn tail and through the first loop on the bottom piece. Slide them behind the latch and trap them there with your finger. Insert the latch tool through the two loops on the top piece. Keep them in the hook of the tool. Close the latch if it does not close itself, and pull these two loops back through the first loops. Use the tip of the latch tool to pick out two loops on the bottom piece. Keep them in the hook. Close the latch and pull through the loops behind the latch. Slide these back behind the latch. Using the tip of the latch tool, pick out two loops from the top piece. Close the latch and pull through. Repeat these steps, alternating pulling two loops from each side, then pull them through the loops already on the latch tool. I'm going to use the rug latch tool instead of the one that comes with the machine. It has a larger handle that fits comfortably in my hand and has a larger hook which holds the yarn loops better. The technique is exactly the same. Pull two loops alternately from each edge, then pull them through the loops already on the tool. Repeat these steps all the way to the cast-on edge. Pull out the last two loops on the bottom piece, then the last loop on the top. Take this loop and the yarn tail through the loops on the latch tool. Catch the yarn tail in the hook and pull it through the loop on the tool. This is the seam. It looks great even before blocking. Thread the yarn tail into the yarn needle. Pass it to the back. Work in the end and clip it. Two-stitch mock cable. Find the center of the sample and pull out two stitches in the waist yarn. Ravel this out all the way down. I also drop 4 stitches on the other side and ravel them down for a 4-stitch mock cable. I would usually do these just as I need to work on them, but I wanted you to see what they look like side by side on a sample piece. I have not raveled the last 2 rows through the E-wrap cast on. Pull them out also. Insert the latch tool above the first 2 yarn strands. Twist it down and around to make a loop on the latch tool. Catch the next 2 strands in the hook, then pull them through the loop already on the tool. Slide this loop down. Catch the next 2 strands and pull them through. Catch the next 2 strands and pull them through. Repeat this all the way up to the waist yarn. Catch the last strand and pull it through. Continue to latch the cable up through the waist yarn. The waist yarn acts as a stitch holder. Nothing more is necessary. Not a true cable, but this is a very attractive stitch. It also looks great when worked on the purl side. I've already raveled out the 4 stitches for the large mock cable. Insert the latch tool above the 2 bottom yarn strands. Twist down and around to make a loop on the tool. Catch the next 4 strands in the hook and pull them through. Slide this new loop down behind the latch. Catch the next 4 strands and pull them through. Repeat this all the way up, pulling 4 strands through 4 strands. There is 1 strand left at the top. Pull it through. Then fasten this loop with a safety pin to prevent the cable from running back down. Again, this is not a true cable, but it is a very attractive stitch. Mock cables are an excellent stitch pattern for Afghan panels. There is a pattern on my website that uses the small mock cable and an Afghan seam. It's written generically for all mid-gauge and bulky machines, but is suitable for the GK370. But mock cables are not limited only to afghans or throws. This CAL uses both the 2-stitch and 4-stitch cables. There is no step-by-step video for it, as it is just a simple rectangle of stockinette. The cable stitches are dropped and latched up just as shown in this lesson. There is a PDF of the pattern, and the link is in the description below. And there is a link to the Afghan pattern on my website. This concludes Lesson 3 for the GK370 mid-gauge knitting machine. We have learned how to E-wrap cast on over waste yarn and ravel cord, use waste yarn as a stitch holder, work the Afghan seam, and make mock cables. There are 2 patterns for this lesson: a scarf that uses the Afghan seam and a cowl with mock cables. I hope you enjoy both patterns. Until next time, happy knitting!